So I just want to talk about whether or not we should be putting 2002 Shaquille O'Neal or 1977 Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the top center spot. Uh, it's going to be pretty obvious that who doesn't end up there will likely get the six-man spot for the all-age Lakers team at 29 years old. As you see here, 29 years old for Kareem and Shaq, 29 years old. So Shaq played less games. That's the first immediate thing that we notice here. Um, Kareem played a full 82 games. Now where it gets murky, I feel like at the beginning it goes to Kareem because we scroll down here and we take a look. And in 77, he was the most valuable player, as well as the Sporting News most valuable player, which to me just kind of creates that unanimous feel that the guy was the best player in the league. Obviously an all-star. In 77, you're looking at the all-NBA first team, all-defensive second team. Win share or MVP award shares is pretty high up there. So without looking at any stats, he was pretty much considered the best player in the league. And that's just raw, just looking at that. Okay, so let's go down to Shaquille O'Neal. You go down to his awards, and it's close. But it kind of still goes in the nod of Jabbar. He doesn't win an MVP this year. He does win Finals Most Valuable Player. As you remember, the Los Angeles Lakers three-peated that season. Obviously an all-star. In 2002, he was all-NBA first team. Didn't make an all-defensive team like Kareem. And in 2002, almost the same number of MVP award shares, but he was third. He finished in third in MVP voting. So I believe Duncan won the MVP that year, and Jason Kidd finished second. And I mean, we can pretty much set aside, especially looking at the fact that the win shares here, that Shaquille O'Neal is more than likely a little bit better than Kidd and more deserving of being in second place there. So very closely resembled. Nod sort of goes to Kareem. So let's consider what's going on further. Okay, Shaquille O'Neal played for the 2002 Lakers, who went 58-24. They won an NBA Finals. Didn't coast through the West, but as far as getting to the finals, it was a cakewalk against the New Jersey Nets. On their team, you have to consider the spot in hierarchy that they share. Shaquille O'Neal is pretty plainly the best player on the Los Angeles Lakers, with Kobe as, somewhat of a close second. And then you look at the rest of the squad, and it's, middling talent. Ori, Fisher, Walker, Fox, George, players who are obviously solid role players and prove to be throughout their careers, but no one who can essentially take over a ball game like O'Neal and Bryant. So looking at that, you go down to the playoff performance, and same thing. O'Neal dominates, does great throughout the playoffs, pulls in a championship. But he obviously had some significant help over from Bryant, and, likely so Ori as a catastrophic killer of the Kings and one of the best role players in history. But that being said, he is a role player. So, Shaq wasn't working with the greatest cast of help, but he did win a championship, and he still did have a maturing Kobe Bryant. So we go and look at Kareem, the 77 Lakers. This is back when teams who finished 53-29 ended up being first in the Pacific Division would not have to play in the first round. So they were automatically in the semis, faced off against the Golden State Warriors, stretched it far to a 7-game series, won, but ended up going against the Blazers and getting swept by who would be the eventual champions, with Bill Walton and Maurice Lucas. Blazers swept the Lakers, but let's look at this team here. As you can see, Kareem was dragging a whole bunch of role players here. I mean, you can't safely say that Cazzie Russell wasn't pretty much as productive as Robert Horry. So When the rest of your team is filled out with guys like this, you're pretty much the lone dog. And the fact that he took this ragtag group of players and put them on his back and skyhooked them to a freaking Western Conference Finals appearance, that has to be considered. Maybe as strongly as Shaq's run, winning the championship alongside of Kobe Bryant. You go to the playoffs, and there's really no drop-off here. I mean, the guy averaged 35 points and 18 rebounds during the 1977 playoffs. And there's very little he could have done. So you see here the D rating, much lower than the rest of his team, so he was just majoritively that anchor of the team. And then when you get to the playoffs, it's even worse. I mean, the disparity is quite astounding. It was pretty much just feed it to Kareem and let Kareem do some work. Let Kareem stop them on defense as well, and just proves that, drafting someone like Magic Johnson in 1980 relieved Kareem of this insignificant help he was receiving. So that being said, I still think, this doesn't give me a fair enough picture. The stats are pretty much the same across the board. There's really no differentiation that I'm receiving here where I'd be like, Kareem was distinctively the better player than Shaq, or Shaq was distinctively the better player than Kareem. So I need y'all's help. Y'all need to give me insight, comment. Please leave comments and let me know, because I think at this point it's a 50-50 thing, and I'm really not going to be upset with who I choose. I mean, historically when I do these lists, I like to give the win, or I give the tie to the later year, because, as we keep progressing and guys meet those level of expectations, they should be heralded for the facts. So Shaquille O'Neal doing whatever he did, especially in a later era, more modern era, maybe is perceived to be better than Kareem. So possibly just answer my own question. May put Shaq in that spot as a placeholder for now. But please speak up. If you think Kareem is really the better player here, if you have maybe some video evidence and things of that nature, certain games and cornerstone events that happen during these specific seasons, that we can definitively say that one of these players is the better player, please let me know, because we can figure this out together. And it's pretty fun. So thank you for watching this video. This is Noah XL speaking to you from Greatest Show of Basketball and Brock Lesnar Hoops. Excuse me. I'll catch you on the flip. Peace.